Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at chapter 36 of Peopleware, which is called The Making of Community. The days of small towns and people having a genuine connection with their neighbors is long gone, except perhaps in religious communities like the Amish. But the need to commune with others is still a big part of what the human experience entails. This isn't even limited to individual relationships, but also includes group relationships. As a result, not living in natural communities anymore, we are left to find community in the place where we spend the majority of our waking hours, the office. And as a manager, one of the greatest services you can do for your employees is to help them make a community with each other. Community doesn't happen naturally, however. It has to be made intentionally, and the ones to do it are doing a huge service to the people they work with. The authors cite politics, quote, as Aristotle defines it, as the manner by which we connect individuals to a greater whole, or a community. Aristotle was, of course, not thinking about the machinations of corporate shenaniganizers. Rather, he defined it as a way to logically extend ethics to a larger group and the science of managing such groups consistent with ethical behavior. If you are in a position of any leadership at all, it's worth contriving ways to foster connection between your people. Personally, I've been known to invite groups of coworkers out for drinks or dinner, and believe me, especially if you're the only one who does this kind of thing, your contribution is appreciated. It should be apparent why it's valuable to form it should be apparent why it's valuable from a personal perspective, why community is important. Even the head decision makers are human themselves and get intuitively that they'd rather be surrounded by people they know and like than strangers. But there is a business case to be made for that happy hour, the catered lunches, and occasional corporate retreats that cost the company real physical money. An organization with satisfying community is one that no one wants to leave. Let me say that again. An organization with a satisfying community is one that no one wants to leave. When you think about why companies offer crazy perks, like beer kegs and endless food, the prima facie reason is to attract talent with flashy perks. But the more compelling one is that people who eat and drink together start to do more than just eating and drinking together. They start talking, sharing stories, building relationships. And if you consider the cost of acquiring a knowledge worker is typically in the tens of thousands of dollars, the beer and sandwiches is a small price to pay to keep them happy and in-house. That's not to say that people won't ever leave. There are many reasons that people might even leave the best communities. But the truth is that if you've already engendered tremendous goodwill by prioritizing their human side, they'll be more likely to leave gracefully rather than on bad terms or bad timing. Furthermore, creating community for other humans is an awesome legacy to have. Being responsible for making part of the next great website or cutting half a second off a slow query is a good dopamine hit when it is completed, but not what you'd look back on life and say, it made everything worth living. Instead, you'll look back on life and see the tapestry you wove of the people who worked for you, who enjoyed their time in your employ, and who themselves enjoyed higher work and life satisfaction due in some part to your efforts. That isn't science, it's art, and you're the artist. The authors wrap up this chapter with an example of a company they worked with, which created a community by building a preschool through elementary school as part of the office complex. It was a solid business decision, as offering free schooling is an incomprehensibly generous perk, sure to attract a lot of talented individuals. But rather than just stopping there, the company also brought all the kids through the office every afternoon to visit the employees. They always made a lot of noise as they said hi to their parents, their friends' parents, and everyone else. Imagine what that did for the sense of community in the office. Imagine building that as part of your legacy. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it thought-provoking. And I'll see you all in the next one.